Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 11 of Field. I hope everything is going well. I just wanted to go over your assignments for this week and just send out some friendly reminders about a couple different things. So this week, I know in previous weeks we began to just scratch the surface about termination, but I think it is one of the most biggest parts of our careers, and that sometimes, especially when we're providing treatment, a lot of the times insurances will only allot a certain amount of time for treatment to kind of occur, especially if you're in a hospital setting, and termination can seem pretty quick. Depending on where you are in your field, and you guys may have some experience already with making this happen, but I think the more that you do it and the more that you do it with finesse, I think it gets more comfortable. I know it can definitely bring up an array of emotions. I remember in my field placement, I remember actually tearing up as we had like a celebration, because I just was really going to miss the people I work with, the clients that I served, and it was really difficult for them to kind of process someone that they trust for maybe the first time in their lives, or opened up about some pretty profound things and traumatic experiences, and knowing how to process that in an effective way. So I think it's really huge. And then it makes me think about, we as humans, we attach differently to different people based on our attachments within our own families. If you guys probably begin to read about the attachment theory, and some people get a lot of anxiety around this, and it could also be us as well, because we are really passionate about the work that we do, and we want our clients to do well. So it's just something to get the wheels going. So you have 2 assignments that are due this week. So the first one is your discussion post. So you're going to you're going to post about how you have been addressing termination with your clients. When did you start? How has it been received? And what skills have you employed? So if it's something that you kind of start initially when you receive a client, just letting them know, we'll work together for a couple of weeks, or hey, I'm an intern, I'm leaving come December, or is it just something that has been setting? Do you have some clients that were angry with you? Do you have clients who shut down? People respond differently. And what skills have you employed to kind of manage termination? So the other part that you're going to respond to is discuss how you have been addressing termination with your field instructor. What, if anything, have you noticed that your field instructor has done to prepare for the end of your placement? How has your field instructor's actions or lack of made you feel about leaving the agency? So I know I gave you an example earlier about how, I was given a celebration and we had a lot of fun. It was kind of emotional for me. So, not every agency necessarily has to do that. By any means, but I think it definitely helps both parties kind of feel celebrated for the work that you do, because you guys, I just know it, have been doing some amazing work and tough work at that, and so I think that should be celebrated. So if it's something that you even want to ask if it's okay that you can orchestrate yourself, if you feel comfortable in those parameters, I say that it's okay. I think it's okay to ask. It wouldn't hurt. So everyone kind of processes differently. So, I think the other thing that's interesting is the idea of gift giving, right? So depending on, who you are, different cultures you come from, gift giving can be really huge, and people love to give gifts and show how much they appreciate you. And I think if you guys look in, your code of ethics, or any of your additional reading sources about termination and gift giving with clients, I think the rule of thumb is, when you receive a gift from a client, as long as it's less than $25 and it doesn't have a significant value to their lives, that I think it would be okay to receive. So for example, something like, someone's like a parent's wedding ring. So let's just say someone wanted to give you their grandmother's wedding ring just to show how much they appreciated you. Not necessarily for any other reason, but just to say thank you. Like, that is something that you might want to process with your field instructor. However, if they give you a card and maybe some flowers, maybe that is something that is more easier to accept and kind of follows our code of ethics. So I know they can kind of seem silly, but I think it's things that you guys can certainly begin to process if you haven't done so already around gift giving and termination. So your initial post is due this Thursday by 11:59, and your response post is due on Sunday. So you're going to respond to at least one of your peers who does not have a response yet, and comment on your peer's approach to termination. Identify something you have learned from your peer's post and offer a suggestion or suggestions for additional approaches to address endings with clients or field instructors. So I think the other interesting part that you guys might want to bring up is this idea of social media. So sometimes I've had clients who have requested me on a social media website and wanted to be my friend, and I know that can kind of create conflict of interest and barriers as well. So that's something to also talk about, just because some clients want to keep in touch. So I think, it's something to definitely talk with your field instructor about, because I think it depends on their kind of policies and your preference, so you don't have to feel obligated necessarily to keep in touch. And I think the more honest you are as you process termination, I think the better it be for both parties, right? Because the idea is that you guys all in graduate school, you're going to go into your next field placement and you're going to be extremely busy. So, a client expectation to kind of keep in touch with you on a regular basis might not be idealistic. But if they just wanted to check in and shoot an email just to say, hey, maybe you're okay with that. So, it's a lot to talk about. So I'm really interested in reading your posts this week. So that's your first assignment. Your other assignment is the famous field reflection logs. And I'm really interested in seeing this one because I really want to see where you guys are in the field, and especially when it comes to a new case or learning task that has challenged you in the past 2 weeks, and kind of what made it challenging. I'm always interested to see how you guys process through conflict, which I think is honestly an amazing skill, believe it or not, just conflict resolution. I'm also interested to see how things are going with your field instructor. So those are things I would love to receive some, deeper information on. If you guys can elaborate a little bit more, that'd be awesome. Pretty straightforward. I know I don't want to be redundant with you guys, but for number one, it talked about treatment modality. So I'm really interested if just to see how you guys are utilizing evidence-based practice. I know sometimes it can kind of feel like, man, well, I was just, in a crisis. Maybe I don't have time to really implement this type of work, but there are so many different treatment modalities and approaches to working with individuals and families that I just want to encourage you to always utilize them, but then always kind of refer back to them when you get stumped. So if you're like, man, I have this really tough case, I'm not sure what to do, you can always use the evidence-based work as a framework to resolve some underlying issues. So I'd be interested to see if you guys are using motivational interviewing, maybe cognitive behavioral therapy, different things. So that's something I would be looking for in part one as well. So those are your assignments for this week, which is due, your field reflection is due on Sunday by 11:59. So please feel free to reach out to me with any questions. I know I really want to try to go live this week. I had one student who RSVP'd, but I would need another one to kind of at least hold a live field discussion tomorrow. So if you are interested, please shoot me an email by Wednesday at 12 p.m. just so we can kind of plan accordingly. I know I've kind of fell back on some of the grading, so I do apologize. So all of your grades should be caught up by this end of this week. So in the meantime, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I look forward to hearing from you. All right. Well, you guys have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.